streets of Clubhouse, somebody will send some clips to her email address.
Oh, I've also heard. My bad, Amir, not to cut you off, but somebody text me on Telegram, and they told me allegedly that they've been calling the number because the number goes straight to voicemail, and they've been leaving recordings of some of the things that he said. So I don't know.
Okay, what I heard is.
You have his Israeli number, right?
Just one second, guys. So if you, if for some reason you don't have a link or whatever to upload, or let's say you want to send them an email. So if you do that, I mean, I'm not supporting any of this, but you can use a website called Streamables. Right, you can post the thing over there, temporary up to 250 megabytes of file, and you can share it for up to 90 days. And you can share a link with anybody, and the link would stay valid for up to 90 days. It's called Streamable, and you can share it with on Clubhouse, like an actual a website link where they can go and download or watch the clip.
Yeah, so it's interesting, man. I don't support that either because, I'm in America. I can't, I definitely can't, dox nobody, but I'm just saying, allegedly. That'd be good,
It's not a dog thing, bro. She's a public educator, so it's on the...
Yeah, but seeing how you can sue anybody for anything in America, as an American citizen, I can't get down with.
That's why you make an email address on the Proton Mail, just put that name of it in the chat.
Teddy, I know this, you know this, but I'm just saying as an American citizen, I don't want no parts in that. Just in case.
Yeah, just go to some internet cafe, like library or something, get some friends log in or something. I don't know.
I'm just saying though, there's a ghost count in here. I don't want no parts in that. I do not.
I've got devices at home, man. I could use all that shit. I mean, I've got literally. I could do everything to this fucking spread.
I'm just saying, man, I know VPNs, I got, I'm just saying, allegedly, if I wasn't, an American citizen, I would make him famous, allegedly.
I could just do it when I go to rural Africa next time, just fucking go on.
Because I hear where you coming from, Teddy, but, when them legal calls start coming...
I've literally got a device, I've got a phone at home, I could just throw it, right? I could literally just gather everything I need on all of these fucking... Go to rural Africa, post it, just burn the phone, and then they'll just track it to a ditch.
But Teddy, if you want to do this, keep it quiet.
Yeah, but I'm not saying where, I'm not saying when, I'm not saying on what device, I'm not saying...
Yeah, but that operation needs to be conducted very soon, I think.
Oh, can I be part of this?
No, Navis.
You want to be part of Navis?
Huh?
You want to be toxic? You want to be part of this, you said?
Yes, Queen.
Yeah.
Do you want to be...
She wants to be the commander.
Since
She wants to be the Robin.
Since you're a plus member, who views your profile every day? Can you give us the names of the people?
Which one?
Since you're a plus member, can you tell us some of the names, famous names that view your profile
Let me
every
see.
day?
Has
to be a guy. Has to be a guy.
Okay, wait, let me see. I've used this picture a lot.
But you gotta tell me every day.
The most now.
Teddy since Wednesday, of course. Marcus also.
Marcus is Islamophobe as well. Anyways, go on.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, did you not see his video on YouTube? His name is Satnam Singh. Go on.
I don't see that.
I view your profile so much because I'm looking for a second wife.
I'll post a link in the chat for you guys. You guys can watch it. And such a Islamophobe.
I know none of these people, by the way. I mean, only Marcus. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know some of them. Ludwig.
No, Mikhail.
No, he's seen this picture.
Every day.
In fact, there was a time where he tried to dox me by putting, bro, I have my picture on. Like, how can you put on?
He tried to dox you?
You've been doxed now, before.
He was trying to, shut up, Chucky. We fell apart, and he tried to, put on my picture. He's putting on my picture. Bro, I put on my profile picture. Like, what kind of idiocy is this? Like, how would you use my own profile to like dox me? I already put on a picture.
I actually need to talk. I found
That
some
was
shit
just
on
one
the other
time,
day.
bro. No, it was just one time. Fair to him.
Marcus, do you have a daughter? Random question. You can say yes or no in a message. If yes, then I've potentially found a video public of your daughter.
Very young though.
Yeah, you were doxxed before, and it's all still there. I thought about it the other
He's
day.
doxing me with a picture I used in my profile.
No, this was like a couple of years
We're
ago
gonna
or
break this
something.
doesn't matter.
People
Terrence
doxed you,
called
right?
it,
With your actual government name and everything. Remember?
Sure, I guess. But
So
you
what?
doxed
Yeah.
me.
So
Oh, Cherry, were you Shia then?
I've never been Shia.
No, he was Shia before.
I'm like a comedian.
He was the Shia of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings.
Ah.
You know, I got doxed, Teddy.
I said that
Maybe it was
again.
Ismaili.
I said I got doxed.
Maybe Ahmadiyya once upon a time.
General, you wanna fall out, bro? You wanna be added to my list?
The very respectable people.
This is the world of tech. New apps come and then some go, some die off. I mean, it's all business. It's not about feelings. But anyways, I'm done.
Yeah, when I said they don't care, I mean they literally don't care. They're focused. They don't care about you going to them, talking about, oh, I got mass reported. They don't care.
Is this a mass?
No, that I understand. I understand what you're saying. But
Wait, Dr. Jordan, is this a mass reporting struggle session?
Yo, hold on, bro.
Yeah, be quiet.
Like, so Jordan, so that was the only point that I was making. I'm not saying they literally don't care about the app. I'm saying they don't care about what the users have to say, which was why I brought up how Clubhouse used to make the users to actual icons, because they actually did used to take into consideration of things that people said season 1. Why? Because I was there. I was around when that happened.
right. No, I
Consider that. Alright, so if you have suggestions, right, and you go to Clubhouse with your suggestions, they're not going to take none of your suggestions into consideration because they don't care. They're only focused on building the app in their own way and what they see fit.
And I agree with you, but maybe a way I would couch it is that I'm not so sure they cared in the beginning at all, right? Like they were driven. They were driven by kind of a celebrity presence. And they thought that if they started to build personalities out, that those people would help recruit and enhance the app. Now, what I think, Craig, maybe I'm curious about your opinion because I was in the first season too. Do you sense that, like my sense of it is that the icon system was kind of flawed because what it did is it engendered or generated a lot of jealousy and resentment, and people were competing, hoping to be kind of designated as the icon.
Yep, I agree. I definitely agree. Because that did cause a lot of tension. And I don't know if y'all remember, too, when Clubhouse season 1, where they started using the Twitter, they were, like, tweeting about different like rooms and stuff like that. People started going crazy because they were like, why is it Clubhouse talking about me? And then some people felt like, oh, Clubhouse is talking about us, so we're the top ones. And so I definitely see both sides of the coin. I didn't even see it from that perspective, so I'm glad you broke it down that way, because I didn't even think of it that way.
Well, I think this is the problem with
Thanks for breaking it down for me, Don.
hopefully anyone who creates an app trying to bring in the celebrity component will learn their lesson because, well, there are a lot of celebrities. If they choose to leave the app, like let's say they make, they leave ceremoniously and with frustration, that can do a lot of damage. So I think the personality-driven apps are problematic. Although they were interesting initially.
It's like one retard after the next. It's just like literally the dumbest retardation.
Surviving, like almost like a Bad Girls Club. I don't watch that shit per se, but there's a sector where people are highly entertained by it, but it's that sector, worldwide to where everybody knows about it. Yeah, no, I think it could exist, for a group of people.
Yeah, I just think it's, well, see, I'm not somebody who, I guess I've never had it happen to me. I know, Craig, you have, we both have a history of where we would say certain things, maybe in the past where we knew we would get clipped if, people reported us. But this is the first time I've experienced, getting clipped on a literally everyday basis for things that I did not do. And it's, it's on a daily basis. And, I'm just curious. Maybe there might even be people here, if anybody knows. I mean, have you had an experience with any individuals or person that, was doing that to people that you guys know of? I'd love to hear it. Because obviously somebody's doing something they're not supposed to do. Ultimately, somebody at Clubhouse is either not looking into the reporting or they're just saying, oh yeah, buddy, I got you. You want this person clipped? Sure. And that's what they're doing. I mean, it's the only way it makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know. But, it's, and as far as the people doing it go, I mean, it's just so pathetic. And I know there's a couple of anons, and I realize you guys are gonna, you guys are hearing this, but I know it really sucks when I can come back and I have 10 followers, and I can literally, I know you guys want it, people like JB, they want to be the king of the app. I'm the best moderator out there. And then, self-aggrandize and run a shitty stages, or rooms that get 25 people. And I know it sucks. It's just oh, we banned his account. No. He's getting more attention in bigger rooms. He wasn't standing on the square. I mean, fucking pathetic loser. And so you guys want to get me clipped. I get it. Adam's running around. He got caught lying about his friend, sharing personal information. He got caught. Now he's mad. He wants you to deflect and say, Pepe's a cult leader. My friends, why aren't you on my side? Because they literally got caught sharing private information from a private chat where it was supposed to be confidential, and he took it to JB. We caught you. It's because you lied. It has nothing to do with me. They're really upset, and it's your two friends in real life that are upset with you, Adams, because you lied. Okay, why would you share something they confided in you with?
We're hoping that Pepe's
that's a really shitty thing to do.
And mine will be the only.
That's why they're upset.
This is called "Why Does Clubhouse Allow Users to Abuse Mass Reporting?" ?
And then you share that information with somebody that dislikes them. And now you blame me because you're a little liar. Well, I mean, that sucks. But what doesn't suck is that you get my account clip, but I mean obviously I can still come in, make rooms, and
okay, this is Pepe the movie.
You guys will still have shitty rooms, and Adams will still be a liar. Doesn't change anything. Roger will still be broke and fat, despite him trying to make everybody see himself as something that he was not while he was running those rooms. I can't change your guys' lives, bro. like one of the best pieces of advice too, if you know, I would not be able to embarrass you like that if you were, you know, don't act like you make a lot of money and, you know, you're this libertarian that has living the good life. If you're broke, if you're a brokey and you're fat, and then you want to talk about fat shaming, dude, you did not hit the lottery in life. In fact, you lost in life. And then, you know, it gets discovered who you really are. And, you know, I don't know, it sucks. And JB, you know, you did it to yourself. I thought that was really funny that you were dumb enough to say that shit in Healthy Debates. Healthy Debates is like a platform that they'll let some shit slide, but they do not want to be associated with people saying the kinds of things you say. Roger would have never even gone as far to say half of what you fucking said. You ended up getting yourself removed from that house from being a fucking dumbass. That's good for you. And Adams, you're just a two-faced liar. I don't know what else to say. So you guys can be mad, but you know, I had enough people in this room. I think you know, I made my message clear with Clubhouse. You know, you guys can continue trying to run content or clipping me, and I don't know. First of all, I don't even see how long this can last. I mean, I'm sure the person doing it that either works for Clubhouse is either doing it intentionally. If that's the case, like, they're just gonna get sick of it. They're like, every day you're bothering me with this shit. Like, get a fucking life. Or, you know, I mean, if somebody's,
Or Pepe just keeps
it should be pretty
clipped.
easy to prove if you guys are just like abusing like mass recording or something.
I'll bet anybody $10 right now that he gets clipped live. Because last time,
you know, even doing this to me, see, I'm
live.
somebody who stopped making rooms. I just went into other people's rooms. That's the funny part. Everybody knows, like, white America is something I kind of gave up on like 2 years ago. And, you know, I was going in other people's rooms. And, you know, like the white people in particular on this app, like Roger's house was kind of like a hangout. And people would go in there just because, you know, that's where everybody is. But, you know, I wasn't trying to be like Mr. Content Creator or like have like these big space. For a white person on this app, I had one of the, you know, bigger rooms, especially like season 2, 3, and I guess 2 and 3 and 4, I don't know. But so fucking what? Like, this is a dying app. You're not going to get clout off of it. Everybody already knows who I am. Like, why the fuck do I need to make a room? But then there's some of you losers who are still trying, which is pathetic, still clout chasing, which is fucking weird. Like, you're not making a name for yourself on this fucking app, bro. You're not doing it. Everybody that actually could entertain people, a lot of them went to other platforms. Some are doing well. Some people, they didn't make it. But I can tell you, you can get somebody like, even like, what the fuck is his name? Teddy Roosevelt. Like, that motherfucker could get on mic, have 300, 400, 500, 600 people in his fucking room, and he could be one doing 95% of the fucking talking and entertain people. Now, somehow, some of you stupid motherfuckers think that, oh yeah, if I could be a really good moderator, you know, I'll be a fucking great content creator. No, you won't, bitch. Do you think that you can be like Nick Fuentes, or even though I don't really care for them, like Fresh and Fit, that you can be somebody who can run your fucking mouth for hours and keep a fucking audience? You know, on social media, they have metrics for this. It's not just how many people clicked on your fucking video. How long did they actually watch your fucking video? Do they make it all the way through your fucking video? When it comes to being a quote-unquote content creator, okay, you need to be able to have not only wide-level appeal, But you have to be able to do the fucking entertaining yourself. You stupid motherfuckers are not content creators. I would have never called myself a content creator. But what I do think is funny is that I can do the shit you wish you could do a lot fucking better than you. And I'm by no means, I think somebody that's necessarily would be good at being a real content creator that talks. Like social audio, what would that be equivalent to? Like a fucking podcast? Or a show on YouTube? But you have losers on here that are vying for clout to be the top dog on a dying social audio app. If everybody on Clubhouse knew your name as it is today, you're still a nobody. Absolute fucking nobody. I mean, maybe in season 1, if everybody knew your fucking name. But you're competing with celebrities, people that were doing radio shows, in the past, people that actually worked in fucking entertainment, people that already had a social media presence. You weren't going to compete with those motherfuckers. Like, you guys are fucking losers. A bunch of fucking wannabes. You stupid motherfuckers. You think you have something intelligent to say. Well, let's talk about this issue. Let's talk about... You know what? If I'm going to listen to a fucking... I don't know, somebody talk about a lot of the issues you guys like to talk about, I generally will listen to fucking experts. I, Pepe, am an expert at nothing. I'll talk shit and give opinions, and I'll debate certain things, but I'm not a fucking expert at anything. And if I really want to get a solid understanding or see two sides of the story, I like to watch two experts, have a fucking debate. I don't want to see, Johnny Jerkoff on this fucking app give his fucking uneducated opinion about shit. This is what a lot of you dumb fucks do. You guys are fucking pathetic.
I saw what you wrote Marshall earlier.
And you are nothing more than a fucking moderator. You're not a content creator. How do you... And you don't even... And some of you don't even know how to facilitate fucking
I'd be willing to bet that his account gets clipped live.
Do you know what moderators do? They sit down, they shut the fuck up, they interfere minimally. Okay? That is what you do. In order to call yourself like a good moderator, you shut your fucking mouth. You don't say hi to people.
This is called the projection show. We just document the number of projections. That's projection number 2.
And let the conversation happen. I'm giving you guys free pointers here. Now, if you want to do what I did, what I was known for, I had fucking controversial opinions. People like to be insulted, and sometimes there's people on your side. They're like, "Yay, somebody's saying it out loud." Okay, and then what would I do? My whole formula, at least for the social audio room, was I let the other side, especially if they are fucking hate people like me, and I let them talk their shit. They can say the most horrendous shit about white people, about whoever. Now I have two sides. Now you're seeing two sides go at it. It is like a nasty fucking brawl, and then people are like, "Holy shit, that's wild." That's all it was. I basically didn't gatekeep my fucking rooms. I didn't make them an echo chamber. Nobody wants a fucking echo chamber. But that was my little formula.
Of Jerry Springer are you gonna do, Pepe?
Well, I don't even do that shit anymore.
How many more seasons is enough season?
Well, that's why, and I got tired of it, a couple of years ago. But it's just I'm not somebody who had a dick
what did
ride.
you do with all this? Honestly, I believe you could have, whatever you just said, those fresh and fit, whatever, fresh and fit, whatever. If a Sudani guy can make it happen, you can make it happen. I don't see why you can't be a lazy, white ghetto version of Fuentes. I don't see why not.
Well, I would say the reality is that people that would talk about like the racial stuff like I did online, and there's already like people that are widely regarded or as being, you know, they're so highly looked up to that you're not going to really dethrone them. And it's kind of like people kind of just get their information from them anyways. You have like A, B, C, D list tiers of these people that already do that kind of content. And to be quite honest, why did I never try to like make money doing it or anything like that? When I was doing it, Biden was still in office. People were getting deplatformed left and right. You know, my rooms were not advertiser friendly. I could have never done my rooms on a YouTube or
So
any
this always
platforms.
comes back to like a Pepe reputation
I'd lose my
management room.
account.
His brand management.
So, you know, I was just like, well,
talking about how he could have monetized.
I would create spaces that where like people fought, they would say horrible shit to each other, shit that would violate.
Is this like a guy pretending to be a podcast star who had it all taken away, who never had anything? Is this the definition of insanity? Clubhouse insanity. Total waste of time. People talking about nothing, but I'm filming it all. So, like, technically, I'm the only one actually creating anything out of this. Everybody here is just doing basically talk therapy.
I got some laughs.
No, I would create it, but I was often the main antagonist, like the whole room. But so sometimes there's nobody on my side, and I'd say a good chunk of the time nobody would dare. Like they don't want to like lose friends on here or be, you know, or rub people the wrong way. So they wouldn't say the stuff I would say, and so it'd be people telling, you know, saying like nasty shit to me. And I got a kick out of it, to be honest with you. Like, I thought it was funny. Like, I loved when you got, like, the people that would express, like, their violent hate for me and white people.
Maybe a lot of
I thought these people were hilarious.
The same way. Maybe people are just kicking rocks here. They're not really trying to get some sort of social media career launch off from this.
Oh, there's some people who are. It's who I was making fun of.
Some people. Very few.
Well, I think most of us, Mikhail, you're one of them. Like, we just kind of, after I stopped making rooms, I just came on this app because, well, I already, like, know a bunch of people, and it's just easier. I didn't feel like trying
to content create. I mean, a lot of people have been telling me. I mean, I think the Western social media could use a self-professed Hamas supporter. I think I could do that.
I mean, you get demonetized and probably kicked off a platform.
Yeah, it's all about your niche, your angle. Like, you don't have to literally spell out
projection count number 3. That was a perfect projection. A self-professed Hamas.
You know, Nick Fuentes is pretty much like, you know, some spectrum. He meets on the spectrum with, like, white supremacists or Aryanists. So he doesn't necessarily represent
Pepe's gonna get cleared.
They overlap. So
this room's going downhill quick. Here we go. Here comes Pepe's kick.
You could be crypto about it, Pepe. You don't have to say racist slur words to, you know, for your content to like be white centric. I'm just saying your skill isn't in how many times you could say the N-word. Or how many versions. Or how many adjectives you want to slap on it. You got a temperature feel on what can rally people up. You keep up with shit that gets specific demographics going. I think there's potential. It's just up to you.
Okay, well, so I'm gonna end this room. This is Pepe the Movie Part 3 clipped. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna start a new one. Find the new run with the more scandalous.
Free Palestine.
Here we go.
honestly, I think you could make a pretty good social media series just like Bustin' BHI or Afrocentrist or Hotep. Just them alone can provide some funny content.
Sure, but when you go on X Spaces, like 2 years ago when I started going on X Spaces, what ended up happening is you had large neo-Nazi rooms, like a few hundred people in them. Then you had you have this guy, it's like the general, and then he'd do a show with this salty girl, have a few hundred people in his. Now on X you have like 24/7 JQ, and it's, which, there's some overlap with the white identitarian people. They've always got a few hundred people in their rooms. It's like literally saturated with like pro-white people and that kind of stuff. And you also have like a large presence of the black identitarians and all the flavors. They come in and they do debate and fight on there all the time. And it's just like, dude, it's also just boring now. Like, I don't even like talking about it as much anymore, because it's like for a few years I've had these conversations like every fucking day, and it just gets old. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe one of the the Overton windows shifted so much in the last few years. Now you have like protests, like yesterday in Australia, you had tens of thousands. I think it was 150,000 in one city. And they're all like anti-immigrant. They're anti-immigration protests, and you have. It's like, I think my views are far more mainstream now, and so I did kind of revel in being the bad guy. Like, I actually liked that role. Like, I got a big fucking kick out of being the pariah.
Why? I mean, you could have a.
I don't know.
Why? You're so much more
useful.
Don't do that.
I
at least in my opinion, you are far, 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 far more useful with your brain when you don't do that shit, like, rather than when you do. When you do, it like takes you down into the gutter, and you're somebody who's capable of not getting down to the gutter. It seemed, in my opinion, it detracts from your overall argument. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, I don't really try to persuade people anymore, especially on this app. Everybody knows each other. I think there's other forces kind of persuading people to be more, if you're white, at least like really rethinking the whole multiculturalism thing and the demographic change, and kind of saying, well, no, fuck all of this. We kind of like our identity and wish to keep our countries
Dude, I always feel weird about that, because I don't have any, like, white identitarian beliefs at all. It's not one of those things I think about. Because of where I grew up and because of where you grew up, like, you're mostly Hispanic. You may not look it, but, like, all of the customs, the manners, the words, they relate to that. And I relate far more to being in a Hispanic community than I do relate to being a white guy. Like, to be frank, I find getting in the middle of a bunch of white people weird. They're weird fucking groups of people. They do weird shit. Yeah. And that's always kind of been my bearing on it. Like, somebody once told me I needed to feel bad for other white people, and I was like, I just don't. There's nothing about that makes me feel bad. Like, I feel bad you may not have a lot of money, but, like, there's no identitarian measure there for me. I don't understand how people grip so hard to that. It's never made sense to me.
Well, I'm not somebody who advocates necessarily that you have to do that on a personal level, but I'm saying when I talk about demographic changes, that is when I see it being a disaster, and that's always been my point. Like, it is in the British people's best interest to remain overwhelmingly British.
There is no threat. There is no imminent threat to there being any sort of demographic, like, swing. Like, there's a much more No, not when it comes down to the UK. Like 83% of the UK is freaking white, man. The Anglo-Saxons,
Yeah, but that
they're not
changes
going
quickly.
anywhere. That not as quick as you're thinking. You know,
Sure it does.
You sound the alarm when the
1965.
10%.
Sure, but 1965 we were 90% white. Now we're nearing half.
Well, again, it's not. First of all, no we. But at the end of the day, there is a problem, and there is a demographic collapse. There is a growth rate that it can't sustain a specific society, like any society. You just can't sustain them at those growth rates. And the West, Western Europe, and just in general the West, is below this standard growth rate. So they need immigrants. It's not even optional.
Yeah, they are below replacement rate. So, and it depends on how you get those immigrants. I don't disagree with you that they're vital. I think lots of immigrants are vital, to be frank. But it depends on like how they come. If they're coming into the country illegally, that's going to have a whole other constituency of people who are opposed.
I mean, amazing. People are always gonna oppose a policy, regardless of how great. But at the end of the day, in the West, if it wasn't productive, if the good didn't outweigh the evil, I would highly doubt that it would have remained a policy.
Well, I'll let Doctor or Jay go. He wanted to talk, but I think it's benefiting mainly the wealthy, not us.
At the end of the day, your enemy is
the only rabbinical pseudo scholar on stage. I want to offer that I think Donald Trump is to blame for this, whether he's done good things for the world, the country, the universe, or not. He has breached the I don't want to say the moral. His moral compass needs to be calibrated. The things that he does encourages us to behave somewhat out of sorts, if you will, as a populace. And so, like, if I was a high school student, I would be like, why do I have to listen to a single goddamn rule? Look at all the things that are broken every day. So that's just my take. Take it for what it's worth. Thank you.
I mean, I can't help but look at, like, I don't know. I do think, like, I don't look at immigrants as like the cause or how do I put it? The ones initiating. Even them immigrating, there's obvious push and pull factors. But I would say, though, I think that leadership, and I'm just going to flat out say it, the wealthy in the United States, places like the UK, that they trying to fuel. I personally believe they hate the fucking middle class. They're willing to find any way possible to gut them, flood countries with cheap labor, more people to consume shit, to undermine the middle class. I look at it as like really a failure that comes from the top in our countries, and we don't have to ask why migrants are coming to our countries. It's obvious why they're doing it. But I don't think it's healthy, and it's not necessarily because they aren't white. It's multiculturalism has like a 0% success rate. There's never a kumbaya moment. It's always going to be a fight for power, and religious and ethnic lines are two of the primary fault lines where they do not agree to kumbaya. It's always going to end up in a power struggle, and sometimes it gets very violent. And I'm not willing to do that.
Stretch shit out.
Hi,
Like,
excuse
not
me.
all countries that are multicultural last the same amount of time, right? Like, think of Rome in the 450s with the
From in the
Visigoths,
450s.
right? Like they called
Hey,
us
my
fucking
name is
barbarian
Marshall
horde,
Rankin. Let's talk
right?
about Rome
And
in the
they got combined
450s.
and took over their culture. So I mean, I think that's at least something important to note.
Okay, so we have a room open called Pepe Gets Clipped Countdown. We'll see how long
I'm
it
just
till he
summarizing what
gets
you're saying.
clipped. We also just
I
recorded
think
it as
Donna
a
had
count.
something to say, and the men were a little louder. Go ahead,
I'm
Donna.
sorry, Pepe. I didn't want to interrupt because I was sitting here just listening to what all you gentlemen had to say, and as usual, just in the chat and chatting up. And it seems like you just have people up here who don't like to. Now, I was keeping quiet, and I ain't gonna get rowdy or nothing, but it's just like you got people in here who don't like to take the L, which means the loss, Professor. It looks like you don't like to take the L or take the loss. And then I had asked, Pepe, why don't you do a poll here to see who looks like the transvestite scowling man with a huge nose and who looks normal. So now I didn't want to go there, the professor. I really didn't. You went there. Well, probably you do too. Probably you do too. I'm talking to the professor.
Biological men.
Can I have the floor for 5 minutes? I'm not gonna hold it.
5 minutes. Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna hold the floor no longer than this.
That's like an attorney.
If you're gonna make your
I
beef
just
with
got through
somebody
talking
else,
for
the
10
whole room's
seconds.
entertainment.
Shit hit the fan.
I
If
just
you're gonna
was
make your
talking.
beef
You
with
do go
somebody
to
else,
like
the
that.
whole room's entertainment, it's really not entertaining.
No, I'm not trying. No, Marsha, see, y'all haven't heard me out. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Mon. No, I'm not trying to be entertaining or trying to be a troll. Come on, y'all see me on here since season 1. But it's just like if people are gonna talk some stuff in the chat, come off the chat and say it. Don't be a weasel and go behind the mics and say it. That's all I was just saying. I'm talking to somebody else. Now, I'll let all y'all good people up here and say stuff. Even the moderator, the man who made the room, let me talk and say stuff. And I thank you, Pepe, for that. I just wanted to just put it out there because I'm gonna be out. I don't want to hold y'all people's time. I just wanted to let you know, Miss what's your name? Professor, whatever you think you call yourself, you need a better picture and some deep condition and leave-in condition on that fucked up head of yours. That's all. Y'all got it.
All right.
You want with the bull, you get the horns. I don't really say too much on this app or start trouble, but if people come for me, I show you what it's like. You can ask anybody I follow how I am. That's all.
I don't think the professor has ever dealt with a black woman like you. So
she fucked around and found out. Like I said, I don't come on here and start trouble. I don't troll. I don't say ridiculous things. I like to come on and go in rooms and talk about the topic, but if I see something, I'm going to talk about it. So you call me as many ugly as you want. I could come off the face thing and I still look beautiful.
All right.
That's all. I ain't got no more to say. I'm not going to hold up y'all room. I'm not going to ruffle no more feathers. Thank you, Pepe.
Donna, if you want to run the professor.
Okay, hold on. No. Yeah, stop. So, so regarding the topic we were at, I think somebody was saying something inevitable, and I'm guessing you're talking about human migrations, which yes, like all the French and the Germans didn't exist, 500 years ago. It's like, or even 1500 years ago. It's like a mix of different peoples that have been mixing for thousands of years. I'm not like naive, and of course travel is done. It would have taken thousands of years for people to maybe migrate from, from Alaska to, the tip of South America. You can literally do it in under a day. So there's a lot of changes, but
reality is white people, or whatever you want to call white people, which are just Western European people, trying to take credit for, civilizations as like Romans or Greeks.
No, it's not that I want to take credit for it.
I'm just saying in general, not
let me
targeting
have
you
this.
specifically.
Like
Mediterranean
what?
civilizations and accomplishments. But regardless,
You don't think that Western civilization acknowledge Eastern
before you get
civilization?
offended, Buttercup.
Wait, are you riding the coattails of Jews, Mikhail?
I'm just curious.
Oh,
It's a
you're
historical
the one running the coattails of Semites. Anyways,
No, Jews, specifically.
God damn it, Rich. Let fucking just let Mikkel finish and then Marshall can go.
you're not a
Right.
Semite, man. It's okay. No, calm down. The problem is that these societies are just not having the proper birth rates. It just fundamentally comes down to that. There's no really escaping this reality. If you want a prospering, growing society into the future, you're going to have to rely on immigration if it's not going to be, family growth or the amount of children a white family is willing to have. So, that's just the cold hard facts. And you're not, usually with immigrants, you're not going to be, this isn't going to your local market. Who I want to come, who's available to be a migrant and just leave their homeland and come and go through, discrimination and rising against a glass ceiling. Like, who wants to do that? So the reason they're coming from specific regions of the world is because, it's not a privilege, man.
We should only let the Christians in.
I'm confused. What's not?
Yeah, because the Christians can't wait to go to,
We should bring in all the Spanish people and stuff like that who want to come in legally. We'll bring them in if they're Christians, and we won't bring in the Muslims because we don't want terrorists.
All right, Rich. All right, we're not.
Pepe.
Yeah, this is why, one can't really take white, political thought, if you want to call it that, seriously, because it's just always saturated with these dum-dums.
What is
Pepe, do you want more Mikhails in the country?
Hold on.
I'm asking a question.
What is
No, let Marshall go.
thought?
What, Marshall?
Yeah, it's just another pseudo-identity that,
I was
claims
asking,
to have
what is white political thought? I don't know what that is. Can you tell me?
political thought that is based around white identity and, the concept of a white race, and that the West represents some sort of white civilization. And,
Sounds pretty nice.
Talking about Rudyard Kipling's White Man's Party.
Aryanism.
Yeah, dude, that's terrible. Like,
Neo-Aryan. Anyways.
Yeah, but Marshall, do you honestly want more Mikhails in the country? He says that ISIS are freedom fighters.
I would prefer anybody who wants to be a U.S. citizen and pass the citizenship test.
Even if they think that ISIS are terrorists, freedom fighters.
When white people cosplay as
They're
Aryan,
allowed. They're
so
allowed. They're
pathetic.
That was a Freudian
Hold on,
slip.
guys.
Rich
Okay,
is
let
wow.
Marshall go. Go ahead.
when white people cosplay as Aryans, is that the same thing as black people cosplaying as Israelites?
Yeah, similar.
I would say that, like,
Love that. I'll tell you. The original Aryans were north of India, right? They found some remnants of a civilization, but they haven't found the houses or like business districts or anything like that. And they were all like northern Indian and shit.
Yeah, I think a German,
part of the
a German woman did a
It's called
documentary.
Aryan replacement theory.
And she actually went to a tribe in the Middle East that still had housed Aryans, dark-skinned Middle Eastern people, and they laughed. She was like, "Do you know that there are people in Germany that are cosplaying as you?" And they laughed.
But I thought that there's three main migrations into Europe, and so you had what would have been people that largely came from the northern India. Then you had from the Caspian, like the steppe area, and then you had like the Anatolian, what was it, herders or some shit, and that's what contemporary Europeans are comprised of. Those three waves of migration into Europe, but. I think, to be honest, though, when people say Aryan, I think it's more like the esoteric racial shit that the Nazis believed in.
Goebbels and Himmler thought up. They worked in unison for that crazy shit, man.
I mean, I don't look at Europeans. I look at Europeans like as one, or like whites, which I consider white people from Europe. I consider them one, as in compared to the rest of the world, they're most like each other, and they come from a similar region, much like East Asia. I mean, Cambodians don't look like Chinese people, and they don't look like people that are Thai and so forth. But they obviously are more similar all to each other. But there's obvious real differences. Like, I don't think like all white people are even remotely the same. I mean, culturally, phenotypically, and even like their history can be so much different from each other's.
Aryan, Northern, Western, European, that's non-Slavic. Right.
But even then, if you look at like Northern Europe, Scandinavians are still like different on average.
I'm going to restart this room.
I mean, they're still quite a bit different from even people from the UK. I don't know. I almost kind of put Scandinavian people in their own box.
Okay, this room is called Mass Reporting, Pepe.
I mean, it is cringe, I think, like, if you're to be, like, a short, squat little Southern Italian and you have, like, fucking white pride with a Viking's head tattoo. It's like, dude, that's not your people.
You never know with the Italians. I mean,
I understand they're mixed.
Half of them are like from Norway, anyway.
No, not half of them. So they have a tiny bit, though.
Hello.
But still, I mean, I still let it stand. Like, I think it's completely natural for people to be. I think this multiculturalism stuff. The reason I'm so against it is because you basically inviting in multiculturalism means erasure of your culture. There's no way you can avoid that. Now you become a mishmash of what the fuck ever. A bunch of competing identities and ideologies.
How does that mean erasure, though?
Sure.
How does conjoining mean erasure? That is some self-centered, weird-ass shit to say.
Okay,
Inviting other cultures mean erasure of yours, or not?
Yes.
Yours is no longer centered. Which one is it?
Well, ours should be centered if it's our country.
This is not your country.
Why shouldn't it be?
You are not American. You are European.
What are you?
No, listen.
No,
you're the one worried.
By the way,
you're the one worried. I'm American.
You know,
I was bringing up Europe earlier.
Family is part India, which makes
no, Marshall, Patrick, the star. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Pepe.
Okay, but when it comes to so I was talking specifically about Europe.
Hold on.
Shut your fucking mouth and let me answer the question. You asked me a fucking question. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer, and then you interrupt me while I'm answering. So how? Okay, so I would say the people of Europe, the old world countries. Look at Africa. Look at Europe. Look at Asia. I would say those are largely consist of states that were formed around ethnic groups.
How is America your country?
Amazing, but you're not.
I'm just asking you a question.
You didn't. No. You're answering. You're asking me a question while I'm answering another question. I'm answering a question that you asked.
How is America your country?
Let me finish my original question. Now, when it comes to these countries, okay, let's say Germany.
Let's say America.
German. Shut the fuck up and let me finish answering.
Let's stick to America.
Shut up. Dude, if you're just going to ask questions while I'm already answering a question, I'm just going to kick you.
I don't give a fuck, Pepe.
You're being obnoxious.
How is America your country?
Let me answer the original question first.
Let him answer.
So, yes, I think the Germans should absolutely, just like the Japanese, just like Nigerians, they should center themselves in their own land of origin. Abso-fucking-lutely. They should not allow it to be Arabized, Anglicized, any of that shit. They should keep it for themselves. That is perfectly reasonable. Now, can you tell me how what I said was wrong?
Once again, how is America your country?
I was born here. My parents were born here. Amazing.
That's all you got?
It's also a new world country.
Okay, so how many other people were born here that's different cultures than yours, and you think that what you started your statement off with, bringing in other cultures of people, will erase yours? How the fuck does that happen? Why would you be erased? You would no longer be centered, but why would you be erased?
I just gave you a prime example. I just gave you a prime example. Do you think Nigeria should allow themselves to be anglicized or Arabized?
This is not Europe, though.
I'm talking about multicultural. No, I was talking about the West in general.
What is a prominently African country?
Yes.
This is America. It's all
okay. And what about Europe? That's predominantly white.
It was a mixing pot before you got here.
A mixing pot of what?
America was
a mixing pot of what?
Before you got here.
A mixing pot of what?
You came here and you're demanding.
Okay, a mixing pot of what?
Demanding for America to not be more.
Okay, you're not answering. The question was a mixing pot of what?
You have a problem with America being multicultural?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you have a problem.
Okay, I'm trying to. Jazzy. Okay, look.
We're prominently black.
Okay, listen. Okay, listen. This is why black women have such a bad reputation. This is so bad.
That's not going to
Well, it's true. Who's the one woman that came off her mic and she's being belligerent? It's literally you. It's a bad look. Shut up.
Fragile white male. Fragile.
Okay.
Let him finish for the love of all that is holy.
Shut up, Patrick.
It doesn't work. If you want to talk to him, have a conversation.
She's an angry black woman. What do you expect?
No. That's my point. If what you want to do is yell, then yell. If what you want is a catharsis, yell and get the catharsis out because we don't fucking need it. Otherwise, if you like to have a conversation, let's have the conversation. It's not that fucking hard.
I kind of like being the angry black woman.
We know, bitch. We know.
I like that. I like
so
that.
Jasmine doesn't help any conversation we're trying to have.
All right, so
he asked you a critical question. What multiculturalism? What are you talking about? Define it so we're all on the same page.
Hold on.
Well, she said melting pot. I asked her which melting pot. Is her idea of melting pot?
Hold on. Why do I need to explain?
Okay, because we were a melting pot, like you said. We started as a melting pot. No, I have to mute you because you don't know how to behave. No, we were a melting pot. We were a melting pot. However, if you look at our first Immigration Act of 1790, where our very first Congress, immigration to the United States was limited to free white men of good moral character. It remained that way until 1965. Okay, so that melting pot, okay, where that term was coined, was consisted only of European immigrants. It was not they did not see people from of non-white lineage as being acceptable as immigrants. That is literally 200 years of our country's fucking history.
Not until the 1850s, Pepe, when they brought in the Irish.
I love how y'all distract people with just bullshit timelines that they don't feel like looking up right now.
I know this for a fact.
Y'all just yell that they're not verifying.
The point was,
Marshall, since you interfered with me and Pepe back you asked me about multicultural, right, Marshall? That's what you asked me about. Why would I need to explain multiculturalism if that's the exact thing that you're scared of in America? Why would I need to explain it if it's the exact thing that you're afraid of? But you go to Mexico, you white men go to Mexico, go to Africa, where you're not there.
I am questioning that set of words.
I had to kick her. She was not willing to have a conversation. She was far too uneducated.
On the same side. But that woman would not answer questions, and it was frustrating as all get out.
We need an angry black woman troll. Come on.
I mean, she doesn't realize.
I don't subscribe to all that shit. It didn't have anything to do with her being black. It had everything to do with her just not paying attention and not wanting to have an honest.
No, it had everything to do with her being an angry.
But I don't think she realizes there's the argument for why. First of all, you could argue that, and even the left would agree with this. We literally started as a white supremacist country.
Counter right now.
We remained that way for quite some time. Even in 1965, when the Hart-Celler Immigration Act passed, it was there was a couple of polls that were done. It was unpopular with the general with the American population. And I believe it was like Robert F. Kennedy said, "Oh, well, don't worry, it's not going to change the demography of America," which it absolutely did. But we, like this country, both the founders and the population as a whole, this country was the only people who could vote, and the people who had all the power in this country were white men. Nobody's going to deny that, left or right. They were the only ones allowed to have fucking power and make decisions. This was a country built by white men.
Well, it's not like there were other demographics, and these demographics were just like watching shit happen. I mean, other demographics were introduced over time, and then America dealt with those demographics the way it dealt.
Not pre-1960s, not really.
Hey, if you want to talk about like in contrast to blacks and natives, I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but natives were not. They didn't have any power.
Exactly.
Blacks didn't have any power. That's why I said that whites. That's why I said that this country. When I say it was literally led and founded by whites, that was because they wanted it that way and they made it that way.
So it's a colonial project, obviously.
Yeah, and so that's not. There's no academic on the left or right that would disagree with that part. Now, the people who will say, when it comes to America, that they'll say, well, it's not a white country. First of all, what do you mean? The country itself, until it was created, was a piece of fucking land. We had a revolution, and there's some land purchases. These white men created a fucking country. You speak a European language. The religion was brought over here, that they were practicing in Europe.
STDs.
And, all kinds of stuff. And, it was